Hey guys, Warwick Anderson from Anderson Boemi Lawyers. We are at our office real people and we try and give you real solutions to your legal problems. Today I'm going to talk to you about demerit points and the RMS and your licence. Very misunderstood area of the law, and I'm going to give you a few quick pointers about how to understand the demerit point system in New South Wales. The way that demerit points work in our state is that you start off with zero. People come to talk to me all the time and they say, oh, I've lost these many points and I've lost this many points. Well, you don't lose points. No one ever loses points. You accumulate them. So if you've got a clean record, you start off at zero. And then every time you commit an offence, depending on what the offence is, you get demerit points attributed to your record. If you're an unrestricted licence holder in New South Wales, you get 13 demerit points. That's the threshold. For professional drivers, I'll talk to you about professional drivers in more detail in another video, you can check that out. But professional drivers have 14 points, the reason being that they're on the road all the time and therefore it's a little bit more risky with the camera infringements that we see everywhere these days. If you're a P2, a green P plater, you get 7. If you're a learner or a P1, a red P plater, you get 4 demerit points. So, as I said before, you start off with 0, you commit offences and you can accumulate them over a 3-year period to a maximum of 12 points because 13 is the threshold. Once you get to 13, you'll receive a letter from the RMS and they'll say to you, you have now exceeded your demerit point threshold, and as a result of that, you've got 2 choices. You can undergo a 3-month suspension period, or we will offer you the opportunity to take up a good behaviour licence which will allow you to keep driving, but there's a catch. The catch is that you've only got 2 demerit points for that year, and if you exceed that 2 demerit point limit, you will be off the road for double the original suspension period. The original suspension period is worked out by looking at how many demerit points you accumulate and how far over the threshold you go. If it's between 13 and 15 demerit points, the suspension period is 3 months. If it's between 16 and 19 demerit points, the suspension period is 6 months. So if you're on a good behaviour licence and you blow that opportunity, if you're off the road for 3 months originally, you're now looking at 6 months. If you're off the road for 6 months originally, you're now looking at 12 months. And there is no appeal against that happening to you. If you're a provisional driver, and lots of young people need their licence, they're apprentices, they need to carry tools, they've got to get to work, and you accumulate too many demerit points, or if you're a red P plater and you get caught speeding even once, you're off the track. The only way for you to do something about that is to lodge an appeal against the suspension in the local court. What we would do, you come and see us, we give you some advice, on the merits of your appeal, whether it's worthwhile so you don't waste money on a hopeless appeal. We send you off to do a traffic offenders program, and then once that's complete we go down to the court and try and explain to the magistrate how it is that you've learnt your lesson and how it is that you can be trusted to drive again without putting the public safety at risk. And at the end of the day, the whole framework of the legislation is about public safety, and that's what they're trying to achieve, and that's why some of the penalties are so severe. Of course, as we head into Christmas period of 2015, we're about to undergo one of the longest double demerit point periods of the entire year. Double demerits apply for speeding offences, seat belts, helmets on motorbikes, and of course this year they're including mobile phone offences. Mobile phone offences are a whole nother video, and I'll deal with that early in the new year. I expect that the increased penalties for mobile phone offences are going to stay with us for a long time, and I think they'll even get more severe. The double demerit period for this year is from midnight on Wednesday the 23rd of December, that's when it starts, and it concludes at midnight on Sunday the 3rd of January 2016. So that entire period, if you get caught speeding, not wearing a seatbelt, using a phone, then you're in strife. A couple of other things that you need to know about in relation to serious traffic offences. Speeding. If you exceed the speed limit by more than 30 kilometres an hour but less than 45, there's an automatic suspension of 3 months. The police have the power to suspend your licence immediately in that circumstance, which means your vehicle gets left beside the road. You can't drive it from that moment on. If you exceed the speed by more than 45 kilometres per hour, then the automatic suspension period is 6 months. Both those periods can be increased. One thing that no one knows about is that if you're on a freeway and you are travelling at more than 130 kilometres an hour, but maybe less than 30 over the limit, so say you're doing 135 in a 110 zone, that's only 25 over the limit, but it's more than 130, you're off the road for 3 months. Very few people know about that little trap when you're driving away on your holiday period. So guys, the important message is to be safe, drive slowly. Remember that the police are out there, they're looking at you, they're watching those offences. There's more and more cameras and P-platers. The Highway Patrol will be looking at you because you're overrepresented in the road toll. If you've got any questions, give us a call on the number below or check out our website. And remember, at Anderson Boemi Lawyers, we're real people and we try to give you real solutions to your problems.